Listen, let me start this statement off by saying welcome to the show. Here to put you up on topics that you really need to know. Live and center from the Ville, I introduce the coolest host. L.Ambitious.Q, the DJ, got you ready, good to go.
Yo, what it do? Welcome back to a brand new episode of You Can't Sit With Us Radio, featuring myself, as always, L.Ambitious, aka the kid that never sold dope, aka chilling like a booger, and the one and only man. Don't call him a DJ, call him Q, the mother-loving DJ. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brethren?
What's up, man? Been feeling good, man. It's our first official episode of the year.
Yeah, man. First official, bro. Feels good to be back in the place, back in the scene. I started looking at the scene of the pod and was like, oh, okay, these are things that I can do better. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's cool to be back, just to remember, like, what this felt like, so I can be a little more, just have things looking even more different for the next episode. We're gonna up the view for sure.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody that watched our live show we did back in December as well. Even though we had a lot of technical difficulties, but
man,
yeah, it was crazy,
we
bro.
Getting cooked. I'm gonna tell you. I think we ended up restarting that show like four times. Man. Like four. It was crazy. If anybody got to see the footage at the beginning, like of the live stream, it was a little rocky in there from things not under our control. But all in all, I think it ended to be a pretty great show.
If you haven't seen it, it's still on our YouTube and Facebook page, and the audio, if you listen on Spotify too, you can listen on Spotify and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you want to go back and listen to it, so yeah, man. But man, yeah, this year has been started off a lot, man, in this crazy country, man, world.
Oh my God, yeah, man.
We got lawsuits in rap. We got fires in California. We got snow in Florida. What is going on, man?
Weather's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was like, damn, they got snow in Florida on the beach.
Yeah, man. I came outside the other day. I almost called out for work. It was so cold out there, and I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm like, I'm used to this. But man, I feel like I'm just not built for it anymore.
That single digits ain't no joke. I was like, hell nah.
I can't do it.
That's a fact. Brisk.
Keep it up above 30, man. Good.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for like warmer. I do like to have all 4 seasons, but then you give me a little bit of snow and I get that little bit after that, I'm like, all right, we cool. I got my 1 or 2 days of snow, and I mean, if you want to throw one more in there, okay, cool. But I'm done. I'm cool. I'm fine.
I'm right with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you think about Drake, man?
Drake? I think that this is a crazy way to go out from a rap battle, and I wish him the best.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all I'm say on that, because I don't know, man. It's still a lot that I probably haven't like read documents on, so I ain't gonna be like, yeah, he should have done this and blah blah. But I mean, just from what it sounds like and from what I heard, you are upset because this record was dropped, and you was called a pedo. And so I mean, I understand how you you wouldn't really want that record to be played. You wouldn't want anything to happen with that. You wouldn't want any of the numbers to be inflated, and for that you're gonna go after who allegedly inflated them. You know what I mean? Who allegedly got that song up higher. So I mean, I get it in that aspect. But for me, I feel like it stemmed from this guy dropped this track that is really good, and I'm upset about it.
It went crazy.
Yeah, went
still
insane.
Going crazy.
I would love to get my input on camera, but since I do work for the parent company, I will save my opinion.
We gonna try to keep it safe for you today. Yeah, we gonna try to keep it safe.
That was a conversation about that, but
that's right, like the hiding part of what we gonna go. We won't go to Ohio.
Unfortunately, but that's a good conversation though, for real.
Yeah, it's interesting for real, man.
Yeah,
sure.
It is.
All right, man. It's the first episode of the year. I'm gonna let you introduce the guest, man. I'm gonna let you start it off this year. Let you do it, man.
Kick it off.
No, I usually like to let the guests introduce themselves, because I don't know. I like people to be able to give people who they are. and like what they are. I want everybody to be able to receive them in the way that they want to be perceived. So Jay, let's have you introduce yourself and let the people know who you are and what it is that you really get into.
Okay, great. Man, as crazy as this may sound, I hate talking about myself, so I usually like when I'm interviewed for them to get an intro and I tap in. But no, that's fine. It happens. I'm Jay Lawrence, man. I grew up here in this great city of Nashville, and I work in a lot of different spaces in the music business. Been in the music business my whole life, man, and I crown myself as the support system for the independent scene here in Nashville, and have always been that, and will continue to be that. And so that's what I call my staple to this offering of this great music city. If it's, that's what we call it.
So Jay, are you born and raised here?
Not born, but raised. But I do claim a home. I am from Michigan. Well, I was born in Michigan, but I've been here since 5 or 6 years old. So I do claim Nashville as home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. So I mean, because I mean, I think about a lot of people, especially people who reach different heights in their careers. Go pretty high up the chain. Like some people, they decide, hey, my hometown or the place that I was raised isn't really where I want to be.
Right. Right.
Some people feel like, oh, there are other opportunities here or there. So I guess for that full time, what kept you in this city?
Man, that's a great question. I kept trying to leave, man. I did end up in Texas. I did spend a little time in California, and every time I moved around, it just kept boomeranging back to the city, which is wild with me working in music. I worked in Sony in Texas when I first left MTSU, and worked in distribution down there, and this was 2005 or so, and ended up being boomerang right back to Nashville after that. And after that, I just kind of like, you know what? I see something, and I keep hearing things industry-wise, like Nashville's finna be a hub here at the WOW, and so I was like, well, I'll pass on the Atlanta scene and let me just stick at the house, since at that time, a lot of things were going on in Atlanta. You had the Jesus breaking through and people like that at that time around 2006. So I said, let me go ahead and get my feet dirty in Nashville and just get myself planted at that point. So yeah.
Well, when did you know you wanted to like help artists though?
Man, so my first year at MTSU, my roommate used to stay up all night and have his light on. I'd be like, man, I wish this dude would go to sleep, man. Like, go sleep. And so one night I woke up, I was like, man, what are you doing? I said, don't look like you studying. And he was like, nah. He said, man, I'm writing some rhymes and whatnot. I was like, okay, whatever. So, and long story short, I took him into the studio. A guy in our dorm had a studio, and I took him in there, and I made some beats or whatever on the beat machine to see what he could do. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So he was that first inkling of that. But also in that same period of time, I met a guy in my dorm that was from Memphis. And we both were in the music business program at MT. And he said, man, I want to take you to studio session. We got some work to do down there in Memphis. And I said, cool. So I went in there. Long story short, man, it was 3-6 Mafia. And at that point, this was the year of, and I don't care to date myself, but this was the year of 99. So I went down that session, man, and helped a lot of them get some paperwork done that they didn't have done. And a lot of them had singles on the radio. And so while I'm down there, I'm like, man, if I'm down here doing this for 3-6, man, I know them boys at home ain't got nothing done. You know what I'm saying?
I know somebody.
They ticking at this time. It's like 1,000 of them, and 99, 2000 during that era. So, and that's when I came back and I started bumping heads with a few people and started helping a few people get some stuff done. And I realized there was a need for it. So that's what suckered me into all of this.
It's just crazy to think, like, that, because I mean, some people they kind of like dream of these things. Like when they start off as a kid, it's like, I want to do X, you know, and this is what I'm gonna continue to work towards for the rest of my life, or however long, you know, that may be. But for you, it wasn't necessarily a child to adult thing. It was like, I'm in college, you know, and I just kind of like, this is a knack that I got into, and maybe possibly unexpectedly.
Well, no, it actually was a child. I'm naturally gifted drummer because my dad and my uncle were in the business. Okay. And so I used to see people handling business when they would move around. I always was curious, like, who's these guys with the suits on? Like, they telling everybody what to do, including y'all. You know what I mean? I asked my dad, I said, what do they do? And he told me. And, you know, that's what the first time I've heard the term of an A&R. And I said, oh, yeah, that's me right there. Yeah. That's me. I don't know how to get to that point. And so when I got that first inkling of during that time, I realized, okay, well, I can actually be in that space. And then when I got to college, I started hearing that name a little bit more. And I said, however I need to have those two letters next to my name, point me in that direction. And so that's where, you know, the journey started right there.
Is like, far as just helping artists though, is it just like music, or is it like personal as well?
Man, over the years it kind of migrated, man. I was one that loved to be in the studio and being here working, helping work records and put records together, and I really enjoyed all that. But after a while, I felt like I was limiting myself by doing that with one artist. Even though I enjoyed it and I loved the experience, but it kind of evolved from that to where I seen more people need help. And then it's like people started getting scared because they see me working with this one artist, and it's like, well, he probably don't want to help me because he got it, you know, got that person. And then I started pulling other people in, and then it just starts getting crazy, trying to work with 5 or 6 different artists at one time and manage. And then you get into the personal side of it, where you're friends with this artist and that artist. And because when I started, I had 2 artists in my pocket. The roommate I had, his name was Emeka. Shout out to my guy Emeka. And then the second artist that I bumped into while working with Emeka was an artist named B. Howard. And B. Howard was kind of moving in and out, doing features and, you know, working with paper and people like that. And he just didn't have nobody there to kind of give him some direction. So I ended up actually having them at the same time and working them. And then you become friends with them, and the personal things come in. And so all of that comes into play. And I learned that you have to be, you know, because it's almost like a marriage if you're going to, you know, be with an artist, because you got to deal with the baby mamas. You know, if we don't book 5 shows all weekend, who's going to be complaining? The baby mama, you know, and then we in the studio 12 hours or whatnot. You're going to hear from somebody. And so, you know, it kind of mixes on both ends. So I work on both ends. Okay. You know what I mean? Okay.
So the artists that you work with, do you typically find them, or do they come to you?
They've all came to me. Now I think about it, every single one of them. What really got me my legs here in Nashville was I did. I don't know how long y'all been around here, but there used to be this little paper called the City Paper. I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't know how long y'all been around, but it was.
He was born and raised.
Oh yeah, it was like a little. It's kind of like the Nashville scene. Okay. Except it's an actual paper. It's not like that. Yeah. Okay. And so they had I had emailed them, and I was upset at the time because we had 106.7 and 101.1, and I was kind of like going off because they're not supporting local artists. And so the guy with the column reached back to me. He says, hey, let me interview you about that. I would love to do the article so we can bring some awareness to that. And long story short, instead of him doing an article about me going off on the radio station, he did an article about me, the whole article. And I was mad, but then I was like, all of a sudden my email was like this.
Yeah.
And that's when people started really reaching out, and that's what kind of got me my legs. So at this point, I'm just looking at email. This artist need help. This artist need help, and I did end up working with one artist that made some moves, and so that's where I got my legs from. So yeah, so majority of the time it's me reaching out.
Both.
Okay, so daytime, the most rewarding thing is being able to make sure my songwriters are getting paid for written records, making sure the artists are getting accurate music in place for releases. Those are the two biggest things as far as the day job. That's beautiful because, you know, so since I'm an A&R director, I have 50 A&Rs that I direct. Half are in the US, half in the UK, and we both work on recorded and the publishing side of music. So I see both sides of it, and so making sure if we have 5 writers on one record, that our writers are getting paid for the time they put in on a record.
Yeah.
So I get a joy doing that because it can get real messy when you're talking about studio sessions. Y'all know how it is. When we go sessions, a lot of times we can have 10, 15 people in there.
Yeah.
And you had that one homeboy that may or may not helped you with half of your hook, and he don't know no better. And when the time comes, that record take flight, and he starts seeing y'all, you know, moving with the bread and whatnot, he gonna be like, "Oh man, I helped y'all on that hook." You know, he done seen something on Instagram and like, I know I need some of that money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's just make sure that happens. So my A&Rs make sure these studio sessions are booked and they're present in there to make sure our songwriters are getting paid. On the hustle side with Y.C.S.W.U Academy, the best part of that is having an artist really lock in and understand that Jay don't know everything, but he's challenged me to think outside of all these other artists that are doing the same thing. And when I see them step outside the box, that's where I get that enjoyment, and they're actually moving, not necessarily doing A to Z as I tell them to do, but taking their creative and artistry to put it towards what they've already kind of built. So I get a joy seeing that. And you see an artist that was by themselves when they first met with me, and now they have 9 people on their team. Now they have all their paperwork done. They got the BMI and all those things together, so they can really get out here and start working, dropping sync records, and doing a lot of just different things.
So, just while we're here, tell the people about Y.C.S.W.U Academy.
Okay, so Y.C.S.W.U Academy was an idea this lady gave me at work back in 2018, 2019. She said, "Jay, you got a lot of relationships. You should go out here and help a lot of these artists, because with Universal we use a company for mental health in Franklin called Porter's Call, and only way you can get in on the services is to be a writer or artist with under the Universal umbrella." And I'm looking at this lady like, there is no way I'm gonna go out here and deal with anything with mental health as far as dealing with these artists.
Yeah.
Even though I know in the back of my mind when she told me that, I've dealt with 2 artists that I've managed that deal with more personal things than they did with the studio. And so it's been 2 years now since I really got out here and started hustling it. And all I did when I started was I started just pulling up to all the showcases and telling the promoter, "Hey, just give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to say a little bit here in the future to the artists that you have performing." And surprisingly, as soon as I come off the stage and I tell them like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in this back corner. If anybody interested, come back here." And I would go back there in the corner and post up and watch the rest of the show. Next thing you know, it's a line of artists standing right there, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know, this is gonna happen." And so when 2020 hit, and a lot of artists started calling my phone, and nobody knows what to do, so everybody's calling me, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell y'all because I'm at home myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the time with Universal, you know, we were sent home with a portfolio. Hey, work with these artists and develop their platform so we can do the virtual shows and all that stuff, because prior I was working in North America tour finance. And since there were no tours, I didn't have a job unless I took on these portfolios of these singer-songwriters. And while these phone calls are coming in and I'm working, these major artists and independent artists are battling with the same thing at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is crazy. And I was like, man, why everybody would have called me? And so after a while, I just tapped in and figured out what I need to do. And I started talking to social workers and all these people and kind of putting the sauce together so I could, see how this is going to attach. And so at that point, I just started to get out here grinding, and people are really tapped into the resources because we do focus on the music business side of it. And focus on the mental health. So now I got 2 or 3 mental health coaches on my team, and to be able to really help these artists, because now a lot of the labels and the managers, they really don't care about these people as people. They care about as their craft and their skill. And so now they have somebody they can call to really care about them as people and really help them really be who they can come, because a lot of these guys, like here in Nashville, just speaking, we've had 3 or 4 artists that could have took off, should be moving well, but personal issues, dealing with certain things. And so now we are having those conversations with them and just trying to lighten them. And a lot of them just don't know the business side of it. And so I said, I'm gonna take this on. I don't know if y'all know my guy Mug's a Million, but Mug was out here prior, kind of moving like I do. And I just wanted to take a different approach to it, and that approach where, hey, if you need help with anything, just text me, call me. And if you have any questions, text or call. And that approach really worked, and it's been working. So currently, right now, I have about 47 people in the academy right now, and I haven't ran one ad, Facebook, Instagram, nothing. It's just been me. Just getting out here and being on the ground and just touching everybody and really just trying to educate and show, hey, I'm here to help you. Whatever you don't understand or want to understand, I can help you with all those pieces. So
for an artist or a songwriter, being my ASCAP CSAT, what's the best one that they should sign up for?
Well, all of them do the same thing. Years prior, CSAC would be the best way to go because they're more like a boutique style.
You got to be invited to.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to be invited. But they did a partnership, I think, right before COVID, and they shut their window. So every artist that I worked with was in CSAC, so I know how they work, and I loved it. But as far as BMI ASCAP, they both do the same thing. It's just personal preference at the end of the day. Now, I guess I can say this on camera now. I built up a relationship with Shannon Sanders, and of course he's one of the creative directors over at BMI, and he's from Nashville. And so I've been kind of doing this thing, to build that relationship and whatnot. But they typically do the same thing at the end of the day. But here's the curveball: all the artists kind of know to sign up, and then they kind of don't know. The majority of them don't know what they actually do. And so that's where I usually start at when I meet an artist, and start there and educate them about those spaces so they can really understand how they work and why they're building it so big. And so that's where usually a lot of the good conversations start at, about BMI or ASCAP.
What about what's it called, Sound Exchange? Is that a good one to sign up for too? Or?
Yeah, Sound Exchange is good for collection of royalties. You can always have a blanket and then a prior blanket to catch certain things, because everybody has their own niche of how they collect money and whatnot.
So when you work with new artists, what are some requirements that you have for them?
Through the academy, I don't require anything except for 2 things: be consistent about how you meet with me, and I just need the marketing. And all they had to do is post me on the stories. That's it. Yeah. And people still this day be trying to give me money, but C-Square Academy is a non-profit, and so I don't take any money. I do all my meetings, and I tell them, I said, man, this is free.
So you gotta respect my time.
This is free, so utilize it. I'm giving y'all $2 or $3 million each meeting at least. You know, not in physical money, but in mental money, and y'all need to cash out. And a lot of artists still haven't taken advantage of it, and that's why, you know, I really appreciate to be able to sit on y'all's platform, because I know a lot of artists watch and tap in with y'all. And I've been telling a lot of other people like this, like, I'm the person, like, let me get on your platform so we can help educate the artists, because some of these podcasts, and we ain't pointing no fingers at nobody, they're not really giving good information to these artists, and I hate it when I see it. And I will reach out too and say, hey, look, let me just slide through so we can, you know, fix this, because it's a lot of bad information. We got bad managers, we have bad, well, I won't say bad, but uneducated managers and labels that don't know what they're doing, and they're hurting our artists. We got influencers now trying to manage our artists, and a lot of them don't know what they're doing because they never worked in music. But they're looking at, oh, well, this person, everybody knows so and so. I'll let her manage me because she has a platform. But she or he has never worked in music and has never managed the artist. But you're trusting this person. And what I've seen as history repeats itself, that it's gonna crash. I would love to say some names, but we're not going to do that right now. I will later on, but I'm trying to help them people understand, and I reach out to that person. Hey, look, if you need help with your artist or whatever going on, feel free to reach out if you got any questions. You know, I want to see all these artists succeed, and I don't want them to fall, because I know you don't really do this. You know what I mean? And that's why when people look at me, they always wonder, like, how are you able to speak to people like this? And this is what I tell them. I'm the only person 9 times out of 10 that you're going to meet walk around Nashville that's done budget over $35 million for artists. It's not too many people like me walking around. And that's what sets me apart from DJ so-and-so or influencer so-and-so that you think can help you get you there. But guess who those people call when they get stuck? They call me. But you just don't see me in those spaces like they move in, because I'm not big on social media and all those things. And so, you know, so that's what, you know, I really focus on as far as working with them, is just being consistent. And whatever you put in is what you're going to get out.
How could, as an artist, is there a way for me to know that when I'm looking at different A&Rs or people to work with as far as my music business goes, what do you think are some things that I could look for to know if I'm picking a good person?
Man, I always tell people, and I have managers in the academy too. Like, my academy expanded just from artists. Now I got artist managers that I see that were managing, and I'm like, hey, you need to come over here. I need to help you so you can be valuable to an artist, rather than giving them a false perception that you can help them. And then you're gonna have a problem, because y'all gonna clash and bump heads eventually. But with them, I would like to see more people on the business side of it. It's too many artists out here. There's not enough people like me that's educated enough to help. And so I want to educate those people that would love to be on the business side. And so with them, with the artist, I try to educate the artist, because what happens is every day, hey Jay, I need a manager. Then I ask them why, and they never really give me a good reason. And 9 times out of 10, it sounds like you need an assistant. You know, and so
you need somebody to do things.
Exactly. And so that's not a manager. A manager, usually when you have a manager, that manager's going to require, depending on what level you're on and that person on, you know, 15 to 20% of whatever income you have coming in. And so I just really try to educate them so they can understand if a manager does come, if they're really a manager, or if they are a manager, they know what they're doing, and they know if they are doing it right, not just taking your money because they're booking you shows. Typically, a manager can book shows, but they don't really have to. Booking agency is really the main booking of the shows, but a manager does just because that's part of what they're going to do for their clients. So yeah, I just try to educate on both ends. But for the artists, that's usually the hardest thing, to get them to really understand what that is. And you mentioned A&Rs, like, you know, A&Rs are not typically, when you get in contact with A&R or A&R contacts you already, more likely you're bubbling when that comes. You're already doing something right, hitting some button, or you might have just posted at the right time and fell into the right part of the algorithm, you know, for that person to see you. And so at the end of the day, the artist is the engine of everything, no matter what's going on. And people forget that. They lean so much on the manager, they lean a lot on the label, but I have to remind them, like, y'all are the engine.
Yeah.
Without y'all, they don't have nothing. So you have to keep that in mind, but y'all have to know, to be sure that you know what's going on in that relationship.
So who you listen to? Who your personal favorite artists you like listening to?
Locally, or
I mean, yeah, either.
Oh man, y'all gonna laugh when I say this. I'm more an R&B head, but
absolutely.
If there was one person I can give up this and work with directly, and this would be the only person I would give up and work with directly and put my life in with, well, it's two people, her and Summer Walker. Those two people I would personally love to work with. I could see the vision. I could see down 10 years down the road for both of them.
Yeah.
And schedule some amazing. Not that they're not doing what they're doing now, but they're unique people across the board. So that's my R&B version of that. As far as any other goes to rap or whatnot, it's a multitude of them. I don't listen to rap as much as I used to, but for some reason R&B just gets when I got older.
Always do.
Nah, that's a dope question.
You heard of you know who G-Lo is?
G-Lo.
You know D'Angelo?
Yeah.
Ball Brothers.
Yeah.
He had that song out. What's the name? I forgot. What's the name of that song? Yeah.
Tweakers.
Do you think they gave him like what was it, 13 million, something like that? Like 8 million guaranteed or something like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be light about how I speak on that too, because guess what?
Is that is that a normal thing though for one song?
Oh yeah, and that's dope to see that, because I've been on this thing about being an artist, and I had these arguments everywhere I go when we get in these conversations, and I keep telling these boys, all you need is one record. That's it. And so I was glad when that happened, to be able to have that conversation a little bit more, to get them to understand, like, 9 out of 10 the people that we like, there's probably one person that we might listen to their album once a month, the whole thing from front to back. 9 out of 10 you listen to a single.
That's true.
You're not bought into nobody off an album. You're bought into people as a single. And so in the academy, that's one thing I do focus on and try to get to understand, like, why are you creating albums when you haven't even established one record? And I get it now. People see so and so dropping every month, every other week, but they have a platform. If you haven't built that, you can't move like they move. You can't be a Beyonce and drop a record out of the blue sky. You know what I mean? Expect you to create some analytics in there. So in Academy, what I talk about is only reason why you should drop an album or an EP of some sorts is to have analytics for certain records. So you may drop an album with 10 songs on there, and let's say you give it, hustle that album for maybe a couple months, go back and look at the numbers and realize, well, they're track number 3, they loving it. So either you can say, hey, I'm gonna take track 3 and I'm gonna hustle that one, or I'm gonna create a song that's similar to that style or that sound, and I'm gonna hustle it as a single. Because now you're getting accolades, because you know what people like off of a project that you cooked up. But after that point, the goal in mind is to hustle that single for however long, and go back and, maybe 9 months, and realize, okay, well, this one is doing good. Then you might want to go back to your project and look at the numbers again and say, okay, well, track 8 is doing well too. let's put that in the tuck, and let's go ahead and shoot a visual for it. But let me finish off with this one, because at the end of the day, the goal is to have somebody pay for the album that you created, or a album. And during this time while you're hustling on one song, it's not that you're not recording, you're just not releasing. You're just focused on this one record, because you still need to record and develop your sound, develop your skill. You still got to grow as an artist. And so that LiAngelo deal, seeing that, was good time for me to be able to kind of like, I told y'all so. Y'all don't listen to me. And that's the thing. Like I said, with me, and I'm going to pop it a little bit, because people... You know, I don't do it enough, but I really just want people to understand, like, the difference between me is I work in this. 9 out of 10, the people you dealing with in your corner, they don't work in music. They acquired it because it was either cool, or they might be skilled in doing it. But I work in this, have my whole life, and I see this from a different lens. So everybody, majority of people you're listening to, I've dealt with 9 out of 10, and so I really just tried to help them understand from this perspective and get them to look at everything different. So I was glad when that deal came through. I have seen the actual numbers for it. It is a little different than what was released, but it's helped spike a lot of conversations. So y'all focus on those singles, man. All it takes is one single to get on them festivals. It don't no festival Rolling Loud is not gonna call you and say, hey, so and so, we need you at Rolling Loud Miami, because we listen to your whole album.
Like that,
It don't make any sense. And so actually I went to a show of the day, and I hate to put the man on blast. I'm not gonna say his name, but when he see this, he gonna know what I'm talking about. I said, what's your plan for the rest of the year? Man, I'm gonna drop a single every 30 days. I said, why are you doing that? I said, tell me your thought process. And he told me. And I said, are you on any playlist right now? He said, I'm not sure. I said, you're not sure. What kind of answer was that? I was thinking in my mind. And I said, do you realize it takes more than 30 days for a song to get to a playlist? It takes more than 30 days for you to develop the analytics to even know you got a hit or some kind of popular, you done hit a niche. So it don't make no sense why you doing it every 30 days. And he couldn't say nothing at that point. So I was like, good, let's have this conversation. And he booked the meeting, and we had those conversations. Now he kind of understand, because somebody in his ear was telling him he needed to drop 30 days. I mean, it sounds cool. You know what I'm saying?
But kind of like one of those things for, if you already got the platform, cool. But
exactly.
If you don't, then
you're not really established enough to really move like that. It sounds like a good plan that you had that, but it don't make any sense for you at this point to maneuver like that. So let me help you understand that. And I said, whoever in your corner got a problem with it, we had, have them call me. I'll say the same thing to them too. You know what I mean? So those things like that, man, I really, I love that this situation has happened, because that song hadn't been out, but maybe, I would assume, maybe a month and a half, or maybe 2 months, like really out, and for it to pick up steam, because a lot of that was just marketing. You know what I mean? When you got that marketing budget real quick, and if you know how to maneuver it, it'll just work. And because people have been asking me, like, how did it happen? How did it happen quick? And I said, man, it's not about a person having money. It's about knowing how to utilize the money. Like me personally, I've worked with a couple titans and people and predators that had unlimited budgets for like their cousin or aunt that sings or whoever. But what happens is when I talk to them, they well, I got the money, you just do what I say. It don't work like that. Because guess what? All these people are going to take your money just because they know you got it, and that's where you end up in a bad space. But if you know somebody that knows the business and know how to utilize relationships, and then the money comes into play, and then I can help maneuver you, because we've had a lot of guys get taken advantage of here in Nashville that had all this money and they thought that money was going to open doors, but it actually hurt them because they didn't know how to build a relationship or even have to budget whatever money that was there.
I feel like NBA YoungBoy made that whole 30-day thing, man, drop every month. I'm like, oh,
exactly. It's cool, but you got to realize he's got a platform, and a lot of these guys, I don't know what they be seeing or who they be following on that on social media, but it's a lot of wool that's placed from a lot of these guys' eyes, and I'm here to snatch that wool off and really give them the legit version. And then what happens is when I'm giving you the real, you're either I'm gonna frustrate you, you're gonna quit, or you're gonna take it as, okay, now I understand, let me fix and do better or whatever.
Yo, welcome back to You Can't Sit With Us Radio. So, Jay, it is time for random ass questions. These questions have absolutely nothing to do with what we talked about today. Are you ready?
Okay, let's run it.
All right. So, first off, gotta ask you, it's your first time on the show. Have you ever been a person that eats cereal thing that you consume?
Yes, sir.
All right. Gotta ask you, eat your cereal soggy, or you gotta have that crunch?
Gotta have that crunch.
Okay. Yeah, he's more of a little soggy eater. I
like to let it marinate a little bit, and then I lock in.
I had an old college roommate like that. He'll let his Cookie Crisp sit there 10 minutes while he touch it. That used to burn me up, boy. I was like, man, how long you gonna let this cereal sit there? He got the spoon in there and it's just sitting over there on the table, and he's sitting over there watching it like it's gonna change.
All right, what warning label would you give your life right now?
What warning label? Caution, consistency. That's my warning label.
Okay, I like that. All right, tacos or sushi for life?
Tacos.
Okay. You think blind people can see their dreams?
Absolutely not.
Let's see.
Well, hold on. Let me take it back. Take it back. So 9 out of 10, we dream. My eyes are closed. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say yeah to that.
Okay. All right. When atheists go to court, do they have to swear on the Bible?
Probably so, unless they decline.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have like the Reaper pepper all over your eyes, or swim in the dark ocean with a great white shark?
Say that again. Repeat that.
That was great. All right, so would you have the Reaper pepper all over your eyes?
Okay.
Or swim in the dark ocean with a great white shark?
Reaper pepper all over my eyes, because I cannot swim.
All right, if God sneezes, what should you say?
Definitely God bless you.
I mean, he already God.
Yeah. But you're referring back to him as in admiration, just like you would say Mr. So
that's true.
God bless you. So yeah.
All right, if you woke up your 16-year-old self again, what would you do?
Me at 16, what would I do? You know what? Man, just took me back. At 16.
That's a good one, actually.
It is really a good one. So that would mean, okay. I don't think I would do anything different at 16. 16 was the part of my life where I was put in a bind whether to pick music or baseball.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I played baseball for a long time, and I was dope. And I had to make a decision because, like I said, I'm naturally a drummer, and it was either tour with these folks or get on the mound, and I chose the tour. So,
was that also around college time?
No, not at 16.
Oh no, yeah, my bad. I forgot about the 16.
No,
lost it.
not at 16. Yeah. So yeah, either be on the mound or tour. So in my mind at 16, I'm like, man, all these ladies and women gonna be out there on the tour, ready to be on this dirty mound, sweaty. Give me them drumsticks. And I probably would if I did go back, I probably would choose baseball, to be real about it.
Really?
And figure it out, yeah, because You can go to the minor leagues for you can go to minors, then you ain't got to go to school. I already get a check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have got the check earlier, basically. But I made the right decision.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the worst thing you can use instead of toilet paper?
Worst thing you can use the toilet paper. I watched one of my cousins use the old Kroger bag. That was the worst. That was the worst. And I'll tell you a silly story. It's kind of a little nasty, but hey, it's funny. So we went to a party out in Springfield years back, and as soon as we got to the party, this girl just chose him for some reason and just owned him all night. And they sat in this room all night, and we knocked on the door, and then for hours he came out. He's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so my older cousin, God rest his soul, he walks in the room like, what y'all doing in here? You know, she's sitting there half dressed or whatever. So all I hear my cousin say, oh, hell no. He came out, brought this old plastic Kroger bag out. Like, he was like, nigga, you ain't had no rubbers. He done used the Kroger bag to roll it
Way. Oh
I swear, we still laugh about that today.
And what did that tell you about her? Like,
that's bro. We was in Springfield, bro. That tells you what about her. Because they knew we were from Nashville. We weren't from Springfield, so you know. But yeah, we still laugh about that today. But that's what I thought about when I thought about that bag.
Oh man. Okay. Alright, if you pour water on a hot dog, does it become a chili dog?
Negative.
And okay, last question. Do you think angels get high?
Negative.
You know it's like multiple highs though.
Exactly. See, the thing is, not getting too spiritual or whatnot, but I think all of us have our own angel here with us. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard stories of people getting ready to use force or anger versus person, and they happen to look up and see something behind them. And so I've heard stories like that over the years. So I always figure our angels are always with us, our guardians. And supposedly angels are tall people. So that's why I said it.
That's deep.
I don't see them up in the clouds. I see them as right here with us to protect us. You know, angel could be your grandmama that's passed, or you know, somebody in your family.
Right.
That's the best answer. That's the best answer we got to that question.
Yeah.
No, that's deep.
That's
Right.
nice. I like that. All right, man. Hey, appreciate you being on the show. Shout out to socials. Anything else you want to say?
Man, I appreciate y'all for inviting me out, man. You know, anything I can do.
Yeah, man.
For promotions, any resources that y'all need, man, I'm here for all that, man. And y'all, man, y'all follow me, man. SixSquareAcademy.com. Go to the website. Six Square Academy on every platform. The number 6 Square Academy. Also follow our parent company, Six Square Company. And you know, I want to invite y'all out, man. March the 1st, I'm gonna send y'all a media inquiry if y'all want to come and bring it out to the event on March the 1st. We having our Six Fest show. Our Six Fest show is kind of where we got our branding from in Nashville back in 2018, and so we rebooting it back up and gonna start really moving. So I'm gonna send y'all a media invite if y'all available.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You come in. I got a few guys right now, but you know, if y'all want to come in, lock me in at the venue and whatnot. So we'll talk about that. But no, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all follow me. Any artist that need any help or anything, SixSquareAcademy.com. Feel free to book. I do my meetings virtually. I do in-person meetings as well. But we're just here to help and support the artist.
That's fine. Well, as always, y'all can find me on IG, Q to DJ, QUETHEDEEJAY. And on Twitter or X as the same thing. Ambitious.
Yeah, follow me at Ambitious1K on Instagram and Twitter. That's the number 1, the letter K. Don't not spell ambitious. Go look it up in the dictionary. Go Go ask Alexa. Go ask Siri. Do what you got to do. Threshold, Brace, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you like any of the beats that I play in the background of these podcasts, hit me up. They for sale if you need them. You Can't Sit With Us Radio, all one word on Instagram and Facebook. And what's the Twitter?
Y.C.S.W.U Radio, all one word on Twitter and X, whichever one you prefer.
Yeah.
Tap in with us as well.
Yeah, man, it's our first episode. Got many more to come this year. Might do some traveling as well, so y'all be on the lookout for us. We're gonna be heading to a couple different places this year. Do some episodes. So, man, yeah. Until next time, man, LBSQ, we out.
We outie.